Languages through music. Languages through music. Languages through music. Languages through music. Salam. So nice to welcome you, Isayas. It's so lovely to meet you. Thank you for joining me for the Languages Through Music podcast.
Salam. Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited. Great project. I love languages. I love music. So yeah, I'm excited.
So nice to meet you, Leila. And for the people listening, a couple weeks ago, my bestie sent me a link to this super polyglot language travel young Eritrean gentleman in Brazil. I was like, is this my cousin? Wait, our last names are the same. Not that means anything in Eritrea, but still, I was so excited to see your profile. Madagascar, Germany, Eritrea, everywhere. So really nice to link with you and meet and chat. And thank you for making time for this little musical podcast interview.
Thank you so much, my long-lost cousin.
Yeah,
I'm very excited. You have a great history about your life, great energy. And yeah, it's really crazy. I've been living my dream the last years. I'm very grateful. And yeah, I'm super excited to what's coming.
But really, just going through your Insta, I was like, this is amazing. It's so inspiring. It's so wonderful seeing you, out there speaking all the languages. You're into music, you're into football, you're running your own charity, giving back, always giving back all around the world. So I'm so glad we could link to talk languages, travel, and especially music today.
Yes.
So it's always the same questions, more or less, give or take a little bit. And the first one is, could you please tell me about your earliest musical memory?
Okay, yeah, great question. Earliest musical memory, I cannot really say like one thing, but first of all, it's Eritrean music because my family, I used to listen to Eritrean music when I was young. Right now, not that much to be honest, but I cannot even... Oh yeah, one thing is, my oldest brother, he always used to sing the Eritrean national anthem.
Okay.
Like for me, he always used to sing it for me. And that's how I basically learned it, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And even when I went to sleep, sometimes he was like singing it. So this is definitely one of the memories that I have. And just like old school R&B and hip hop, when I think about it too, when we were young in Germany, when I was like 6, 7, my brother was listening to like 50 Cent and Asha and all of those. So even those are like in my head,
Amazing. And now what are your kind of favorite go-tos, or does it change according to your travel?
I have like my genres pretty much always, like right now, Afrobeats, R&B, hip hop, those are like my like my number ones basically. I always listen to those, but in different languages. So when I learned, for example, French, I was very much into like French R&B, and I learned a lot. Really, I learned French a lot with music, a lot with like the lyrics from Taiki and Yalevis. I have like my three, 4 artists that I really like. So I listen to that. I listen to those songs. I read the lyrics and I try to learn it. Same with Spanish. When I learned Spanish, I was listening to a lot of Spanish music. And yeah, every language though, I love music in Lingala. I have even Dutch, even languages that I don't speak. So
I love Lingala so much. So I'm going to give you a pass to the masterclass, but I'm going to send you the Lingala stuff that's not even on there yet, because Lingala music is just...
Lingala is my favorite language. I always say this. My favorite language. Mama Nangaye.
I love it too. I work with a really great teacher. He has a school called Litea Ya Lingala, and we've just been doing, we did 5 sessions recently, and we did all the Franco Tipioke hits, Jolidetta, Mbilia Bell, Olomide. I love it. I just came back from Geneva yesterday and I brought Olomide. There's a record shop called Brazzaville Records, and I got an old Olomide record. So I'll hook you up with some Lingala for sure. So speaking of languages, please tell us which languages you speak, which languages you want to speak, which languages you've studied but maybe forgot. A bit about your language journey, how you got started.
All right, so I can start with the first language I've learned, of course, is Tigrinya. Like, I'm Eritrean, my family's from Eritrea. At home, we just speak Tigrinya. With my siblings, I even speak a lot of Tigrinya. We mix it too because I grew up in Germany, so German is actually the best language that I speak. English, of course, I've learned English in school in Germany since grade 3. I moved to the US when I was 19. I worked there for 1 year, so I speak fluently English. It's my second best language. So I would say it's German, then it's English, then it's Tigrinya, then it's Spanish, because I've learned Spanish in school in Germany, and then I went to the States, how I said, and I worked in Florida, so I was speaking Spanish every day because they have so many Hispanics, and I really improved the language, and I really love the language, so I still use it pretty often. Then I would say, fifth is like Portuguese, because I studied now 1 semester in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, so I learned Portuguese there. Amazing language, especially the Brazilian slang. For me, it's amazing how they talk. I love it so much. It's so funny. And then French, because I've lived and worked in Madagascar for 5 months for my internship, so I learned French in Madagascar. And and then I would say it's Arabic. I cannot really have real conversations in Arabic, but I can like get by, like I can have like small conversations. I can introduce myself. I learned how to read and write, like with my friend. We learned, like I taught him Spanish and he taught me Arabic, so like even reading and writing and everything. And I just like the language. I have so many friends from Arabic countries, so like that's definitely my goal. Always has been to speak 7 languages fluently. So I need to improve maybe a bit my Arabic and my French, and then I'm almost there. And and Japanese. Right now I'm learning Japanese.
Oh,
This is my next
wow.
language. I already started like 1 or 2 months ago. I'm learning the first alphabet now. They have 3. And I want to go to Japan next year too. So I want to work for a bit in Japan next year so I can really speak the language. So I think at the end of next year, I'm hopefully conversational a bit.
And with your travel and tourism studies and your different work that you're doing, I mean, it's feasible that you'll be working in any of these places, leading tours, etc.
Definitely.
What is your favorite way to learn? Like, how do you start by yourself? Do you have any favorite apps or methods?
So what I always try to do is like right now is I take a course at my university, because I'm a student university, so it's for free. My university offers a lot of different language courses, and I just take them voluntarily. Like every semester, I take at least one language because it's for free. And all my friends are like, bro, what are you doing? We already have those and those and those classes and exams. But I'm like, no, like it's for free. I have the opportunity to learn a new language for free. So I'll do it, And I like it that way too, because then I'm kind of like forced to learn, Like I can go to the class, I have a teacher that I can ask, I have like a book and whatever, because if you just do it by yourself with apps, I tried first, like Duolingo and stuff, but this one I didn't like too much. And it's for the beginning. It's good if you have like a little method or like really learn it with someone. And then the best way is to go to the country. That's how I learned very quickly Portuguese, for example. I really lived in Brazil. I used the language every day. I was living with a Brazilian host mom, so I spoke to her every day. I'm a very talkative person. I go out, I speak to people on the street. Even if I don't really speak it, I just speak somehow, So that's how I really, really learn it. Same in Madagascar and whatever. So by going to the country and just trying is, definitely how I learn it. But my number one tip how you can learn languages, this really changed my life, is when I started to improve my Tigrinya, and maybe that's good for you too. I was like 15 or 16, and I wasn't speaking that well Tigrinya. I spoke it, of course, but my siblings speak better than me, and sometimes they were making fun of me, or they were just like laughing, and I was like, no, I want to speak better Tigrinya. So what I did was, when I was like 15, I was sitting in the bus, I remember, and I was like, you know what, from now on, I'm just gonna think in Tigrinya. I want to think in Tigrinya. I was like, my brain, like it's my biggest asset. So I just have to think in the language. I was like, everything that I think, I have to translate it to Tigrinya, like even, I do this even now. Alles, was ich denke, muss ich auf Deutsch übersetzen. كله زي حسب تغلى بتغرينا خطوة like, todo lo que pienso tengo que traducir en español. Like I always do this. I really think in the language every single time. Even now when I'm at work, today I thought like in Portuguese too. Like I was counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, ¿cuántos temos aquí? And like it's really in my head. And whenever I don't know, we're blessed. I can just take my phone and I can like Google the word that I don't know, or even the entire sentence. And I'm like, okay, that's how I say it. And then at one point I was really thinking in Tigrinya. Like I was really thinking in Tigrinya. It took me a while. And Tigrinya was a bit difficult because there was no translator application before. So I called my brother several times per day. I was like, Mike, how can we get Tigrinya, how do I say this? And then I just asked him the 1, 2 words and I hang up the phone. And then I was like, okay, that's how I say it, because my brother really speaks perfect Tigrinya. So he was my translator basically.
That's amazing. Have you ever heard of Eritrean Anthology?
No.
There's a friend of mine, Nahum, he put together this, collects records like from the 60s and from Eritrea. And he has this like huge playlist. So that for me was so helpful because like my dad didn't really play a lot of Eritrean music at home. So it kind of made me familiar with so much more music. I'll send you the link. It's just beautiful music. He lives in Frankfurt actually. So he has some events just playing Eritrean records all through the night. So you have to check that out. Do you have any favorite Eritrean artists, music artists?
Yeah, it's Abraham Afwerki. I think for a lot
everybody,
of people,
number one.
Yeah. I really think it's Abraham Afwerki. Honestly, I have a very nice memory to Korçaç too, because like there's one song that I can sing from Korçaç because my brother always used to sing it, and I can really sing so much. Even until now, I was like so young when I learned it. But why I have a positive memory too is we went to to an event back in the days here in Germany, and he was singing on stage, and I was very young, and he just took me on stage, and like I was singing with him on stage together, So I just have this memory every time I think of Korçaç, and I was really like singing in the microphone with him. So that's why I like him a lot too. But Abraham Afwerki is just a
legend.
Just a legend. Like he really touches me.
For me, I mean, I got to Eritrean music later in life, but for me, in terms of learning through music, Brazil was probably my favorite place to learn through music because the cariocas are all about their music. You can't look up a song without getting the lyrics next to it. There's the música popular brasileira. There's like, huge parties all the time, the samba rehearsals, the block rehearsals. Did you find any Brazilian artists that helped you learn as well? Helped you learn Portuguese?
Yes, like I learned a lot with languages, of course. There's not one artist that I would say in Brazil. I have so many different songs, but Jorge Ben Jorge, like this, he's a legend too.
Apparently his mom is Habesha.
What?
Yeah, what? It wasn't. I think it was a non-Habesha friend who told me that, but it just stuck in my head that his mom is Ethiopian, I think. So I don't know.
I will Google.
But yeah, I can't find anything on Google, so maybe it's a Habesha friend just messing with me. But apparently, Jorge Ben Jorge is Habesha. We can claim.
I will check because he's a legend, like really a legend in Brazil. So yeah, I listen to even now, a lot of Brazilian and in general Portuguese songs. I really love it too. What else? Which like specific artists?
And also we have another favorite place in common of Cuba. How about any Cuban music that stuck with you?
Cuban music, I cannot really tell you like artists something. I was just vibing to every song on the street. Like it's like Brazil, but always music somewhere on the street, and I was just dancing and vibing with it, shazamming some songs, but I don't have a specific artist. But I should get more into it. Like I realized sometimes I just listen to the specific songs, but I don't go in too deep to the artist, But I should definitely more because there's so much beauty. Like I really love music. I couldn't imagine a life without music.
No, neither. Could you tell me a little bit about your like experience learning languages? So you your big brother was helping with Tigrinya. You grew up in Germany. You lived in Saudi. Like, but in the school system, what was your experience like? How did you experience learning languages at school?
School, so of course English. Yeah, since grade 3 in Germany, so I learned it pretty good, I would say, like until I think like grade 9 or 10 or whatever, you can really speak kind of well, you know. But yeah, so what I have a nice story to tell actually. It's when I was in grade 7 regarding Spanish. I got a new friend in my class. A new friend in my class. He was Spanish, like grew up in Germany, but his parents are from Spain. And I remember he was talking Spanish with his parents. And on the phone, he was like, "Mamá, ¿me puedes recoger de la escuela?" And I was like, "Bro, this language sounds beautiful. I want to learn this language." I always told him. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I promised him in grade 7, I promised him I will learn this language. And then, yeah, grade 10, we had to leave like middle school. So I was about to, go to like the next like high school. And there were two options for me. Like it was like a better school, two options in my city. One school, all my friends, like really 30 plus, so many of my friends from my football club and whatever, everyone was telling me, "Bro, come to the school." And I really wanted to go. The other school was only one good friend. But the school with all my friends, they offered Italian, which is actually pretty good if you speak Tigrinya, you know, you have some words that can help you. And the other school offered Spanish. But my dream was to speak Spanish. So really for 6 months, I had a headache. I was like pro and contra. I was writing down a list, pro and contra, plus 8 minutes, plus 7 minutes, you know, like they had every single argument, you know. And yeah, at the end of the day, I remember the last day I called the schools and I was like, "Is there any chance you're gonna have Spanish too instead of Italian?" And then they told me, "No, it's only Italian." And I was like 15, 16. And then I realized, you know what? I need to chase my dreams, you know, like it's okay, I don't have to go.
You can learn Italian anytime.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have to go with my friends. And I really chose the other school just because of Spanish. It was the only reason, because it was really my dream to learn the language. And my friends couldn't understand me, you know. We were like 15, 16. They were like, "What are you talking about? It's just 3 years in school of the language or whatever." And yeah, so I just chose the other school. I met my best friends at the other school. Spanish really changed my life. Like I speak it so often. I even make money with the language. I work sometimes as an interpreter, you know, for Spanish. So it really changed my life. I was so motivated. That's when I realized you don't need to be talented. Like everyone tells me, "You're so talented" or whatever. Maybe there's a bit of talent, but the number one reason why I learn languages is really my motivation. Like I went to school after the first year of Spanish in high school. I was able to kind of speak with people because, no joke, every single class I was excited to enter. Every single class I was so motivated. I was so excited.
That's amazing, because so many people I ask didn't have a great experience of languages at school. So that's really great.
Yeah, I had a great teacher. Shout out to Senora Diaz. But yeah, I really had a, like, she was a great teacher, but I was just very motivated. I wasn't even like studying at home. I was listening to a lot of Spanish music. I was trying to watch Spanish like TV shows, and I was just in love with the language. Like I really enjoyed it, you know, like I had joy. And that's when I realized I need to do something that you really have passion for or enjoy, because I'm just way better, you know. I was so good at, like, even in school I was so good in Spanish because I was so motivated, you know.
That's it. And I guess your love of travel came with that. You told me a beautiful mystical story about your love of Brazil being planted very, very young. But when you travel, do you find it easy to pick up? Do you prepare before you go? Do you start speaking from day one? How is it when you travel?
I'm a very I'm an open-minded person, so I just speak a lot. I just try and speak to people, even if I don't really speak the language. So, but for example, when I went to Madagascar, they don't speak English. I didn't really speak French when I went there. I was just like, I could introduce myself, and that's basically it. So it was kind of difficult at the beginning, to be honest. I was speaking with my hands and with a bit with my phone, with the translator, whatever. But I was just trying, you know, and studying at home, studying at, like, I had a French course there too. So, Yeah, it's kind of like practice makes perfect, learning by doing, and even like making mistakes is normal, just asking people and just trying to go with the flow somehow.
That's it. And I feel like we have new tools almost every week. I just learned about this website called Journaly, where you can kind of keep your journal in any language and find people to look up, like over it for you. And also, there's ChatGPT, of course, where you can practice conversations in different languages. But I just discovered Suno this weekend, Suno. So you can put in your like vocabulary words, put in the style of music, put in the language, and it'll just create a song for you, which I tested in Kirundi today, and it was just incredible. So we have more and more at our disposal, really. So with all the traveling you're doing, where are you up to next? Back to Madagascar, off to Japan? Where is next on your list? Mr. International.
Yeah. C'est moi, that's me, yes. But next one is back home, is Eritrea. I'm gonna be in Eritrea August and September. I want to go back home. It's been a long time, 8 years since I haven't been back home. I'm very excited, looking forward to this. I'm going to Austria this weekend, but I don't count this. It's very it's close. I just drive, by car going to Austria. But my next big vacation is basically Eritrea. I want to go to Japan next year, but Eritrea is high on my list. I'm so excited to see my family, to see my country, to really explore our country, to really explore the country. I haven't really seen the country, and I know there's so much beauty.
Yeah, so much. I haven't been in a million years, but going to Massawa, going to Asmara, going to my dad's village near Dakamhare, it was, beautiful. And if you can drive, it's even better. So yep. I know you'll be creating content when you're there, so we'll be watching and traveling with Definitely. You. And as a last question, Hawe, is there music where you don't understand the language at all, but you just love?
Oh, of course, so much. Even Afrobeats, to be honest, so much Afrobeats I don't understand. Lingala, how I said, I love Lingala. Even like when French, I used to listen to French years ago when I didn't speak the language. Same for Portuguese, same for Spanish. Even like I don't like, for example, I don't even like the Dutch language, but there are some nice Dutch songs, even some nice Swedish songs, But this one is more like, because they do like a Afrobeat vibe, so it's kind of similar, because it's the Afrobeat vibe, the rhythm, whatever. The rhythm is just nice.
Because in my Dutch class, they were bringing really some painful music that kind of put me off Dutch music. So I would love to hear some great Dutch songs. Send it over.
Yeah, I can send you some. It's more like an Afro, R&B, hip hop vibe, So those languages for sure. I think there are several ones. I have some random Arabic language songs too. I have a nice Arabic song for you. It's a mixed Arabic and Portuguese song. It's called Enty Hayaty. It's
wow.
It's a very nice song. I can send it to you. I think you will enjoy it.
That would be great. Actually, I do have a request. Often when I interview people, I ask them for their three favorite songs in 3 different languages. So whenever you have time to think, send me one of your favorite in Tigrinya, one favorite in Lingala, one favorite in Portuguese. It's hard to choose, I know, but that would be awesome to have that from you. And where is best for people to follow you, keep up with your content, and where you're off to next?
All right, guys. So it's definitely number 1, my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to know more about like learning languages, my daily adventures, my travels too. So it's Mr. International, basically on all social media, on TikTok too, on YouTube too. On YouTube I post like a vlog every couple of weeks. So yeah, it's Mr. International, but MR dot, and then you use a 1 instead of an I, and then you 1, and then you basically write international, like 1NTER, blah blah. So yeah, this is exactly.
Amazing. Well, that's all my questions for now, though I have a million more to come, and I know we're going to be collaborating in some way, shape or form. So Hawe, thank you so much, and I can't wait to meet you in person on one of our many jet set travels. Now I have you as a new cousin that's it. It's travel, languages, music, collaboration.
Really so much. I thank you. And yeah, I hope so. Inshallah, one day we will meet. I'm very sure.
Inshallah. Thank you all for listening. And I will send you the link, transcript, etc., etc., etc. So you can keep up with Mr. International in Eritrea, in Brazil, in Cuba, in Japan, to the world.
All around the world.
Languages to music.